but to save Prahlad Maharaj and to give him blessings. In other words, because Prahlad Maharaj was put into very great distress, the Lord appeared. Then we will continue now. When after the dense dark night, there is finally sunrise in the morning, it is very pleasant. When there is a scorching heat, cool water is very pleasant. And when there is freezing winter, hot water is very pleasant. Similarly, when a devotee, after experiencing the distress of the material world, relishes the spiritual happiness awarded by the Lord, and his position is still more pleasant and enjoyable. Lord Sri Krishna continued, quote, when my devotee is bereft of all material riches and is deserted by his relative, friends and family members, because he has no one to look after him, he completely takes shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. Unquote. Srila Narottam Das Thakur has sung in this connection. I think we read that yesterday. I think we were gonna read the prayer by Mother Queen Kunti. That's where we left, I think. So let me see. It was there, yeah? Or it is my speculations. Oh, it was, I think it is in the 3:30 meditation. Very well. I got confused, sorry. I'll have to go back. Please be patient later. Shukdev Goswami continued. The demigods, headed by Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, and including Lord Indra, Chandra, Varuna, and others, are apt to be very quickly satisfied or very quickly angered by the good or ill behavior of their devotees. But this is not so with the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu. Unquote. This means that every living entity within this material world, including the demigods, is conflicted by the three modes of material nature, and therefore the qualities of ignorance and patience are very prominent within the material world. Those devotees who take blessings from the demigods are also infected with the material qualities, especially passion and ignorance. Lord Sri Krishna has therefore stated in the Bhagavad Gita that to take blessings from the demigod is less intelligent, because when one takes benedictions from the demigods, the result of such benedictions are temporary. It is easy to get material opulence by worshipping the demigods, but the result is sometimes disastrous. As such, the benedictions delivered from the demigod are appreciated only by the less intelligent class of men. Persons who derive benedictions from the demigod gradually become puffed up with material opulences and neglectful of their benefactors. Sukadev Goswami addressed King Parikshit thus, quote, my dear king, Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu and Lord Shiva, the principal trio of the material creations, are able to bless or curse anyone. Of this trio, Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva are very easily satisfied, but also very easily angered. When satisfied, they give benedictions without considerations. And when angry, they curse the devotee without considerations. But Lord Vishnu is not like that. Lord Vishnu is very considerate. Whenever a devotee wants something from Lord Vishnu first considers whether such a benedictions will ultimately be good for the devotees, not temporary. So Lord Vishnu never bestowed any benedictions which will ultimately prove dangerous to the devotees. By his transcendental nature, he is always merciful. Therefore, before giving any benedictions, he considers whether it will prove beneficial for the devotee. Since the Supreme Personality of Godhead is always merciful, even when it appears that he has killed a demon, or even when he apparently becomes angry toward a devotee, his actions are always auspicious. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is therefore known as all good. Whatever he does is very good. As for the benedictions given by the demigods like Lord Shiva, there is the following historical incident cited by the great sages. Once, Lord Shiva, after giving a benedictions to a demon named Vrukasura, the son of Sakuni, was himself entrapped in a very dangerous position. Vrukasura was searching after a benedictions and trying to decide which of the three presiding deities to worship in order to get it. In the meantime, he happened to meet the great sage Narada and consulted with him as to whom he should approach to achieve quick result from his austerity. He inquired, quote, of the three deities, namely Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu, and Lord Shiva, who is most quickly satisfied? Unquote. Narada could understand the plan of the demon, and he advised him as follows, quote, you had better worship Lord Shiva. Then you will quickly get the desired result. Lord Shiva is very quickly satisfied and very quickly dissatisfied also. So you try to satisfy Lord Shiva, unquote. Narada also cited instances wherein demons like Raman and Banasur were enriched with great opulences simply by satisfying Lord Shiva with prayers. Because the great sage Narada was aware of the nature of the demon Vrukasura, he did not advise him to approach Vishnu or Lord Brahma. Persons such as Vrukasura, who are situated in the material modes of ignorance, cannot stick to the worship of Vishnu. So after receiving instructions from the Narad Muni, the demon Vrukasura went to Kedarnath. The pilgrimage site of Kedarnath still exists near Kashmir. It is almost always covered by snow, but for part of the year during the month of July, it is possible to see the deity and devotees go there to offer their respects. Kedarnath is for the devotee of Lord Shiva. According to the Vedic principle, when something is offered to the deities to eat, it is offered in a fire. Therefore, a fire sacrifice is necessary in all sorts of ceremonies. It is specifically stated in the Shastras that gods are to be offered something to eat through the fire. The demon Rukrasura therefore went to Kedarnath and ignited a sacrificial fire to please Lord Shiva. After igniting the fire in the name of Lord Shiva, to please him, Vrukasura began to offer his own flesh by cutting it from his body. Here is an instance of worship in the mode of ignorance. In the Bhagavad Gita, different types of sacrifice are mentioned. Some sacrifices are in the mode of goodness, some are in the mode of passion, and some are in mode of ignorance. There are different kinds of tapasya and worship because there are different kinds of people within this world. But the ultimate tapasya, Krishna consciousness, is the topmost yoga and the topmost sacrifice. As confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, the topmost yoga is to think always of Lord Krishna within the heart, and the topmost sacrifice is to perform the Sankirtana Yajna. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is stated that the worshipper of the demigods have lost their intelligence. As revealed later in this chapter, Rukrasura wanted to satisfy Lord Shiva for a third-class materialistic objective, which was temporary and without real benefit. The asuras or portion within the mode of ignorance will accept such benedictions from the demigods. In complete contrast to this sacrifice in the mode of ignorance, the Archana Vidhi process for worshipping Lord Vishnu or Krishna is very simple. Lord Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that he accepts from his devotees even a little fruit, a flower or some water, which can be gathered by any person, rich or poor. Of course, those who are rich are not expected to offer only a little water, a little piece of fruit, or a little leaf to the Lord. A rich man should offer according to his possession. But if the devotee happens to be a very poor man, the Lord will accept even the most meager offering. The worship of the Lord Vishnu or Krishna is very simple, can be executed by anyone in this world. But worship in the mode of ignorance, as exhibited by Vrukasura, is not only very difficult and painful, but is also a useless waste of time. Therefore, the Bhagavad Gita says that the worshipper of the demigods are bereft of intelligence. Their process of worship is very difficult, and at the same time, the result obtained is flickering and temporary. So, although Vrukasura continued his sacrifice for 6 days, he was unable to personally see Lord Shiva, which was his objective. He wanted to see him face to face and ask him for a benediction. Here is another contrast between demons and the devotees. A devotee is confident that whatever he offers to the deity in full devotional service is accepted by the Lord. But a demon wants to see his worshipable deity face to face so that he can directly take the benedictions. A devotee does not worship Vishnu or Lord Krishna for any benedictions. Therefore, a devotee is called akama. free from all other devachan. And a non-devotee is called Sarvakam, or desirers of everything. On the seventh day, the demon Vrupashu, he decided that he should cut off his head and offer it to satisfy Lord Shiva. Thus, he took a bath in a nearby lake, and without drying his body and hair, he prepared to cut off his head. This was something was mentioned to us also. Me and Siddharsan Prabhu, we did the Sampinda for the forefathers at the Deva Prayag. And after we dip in the water, that priest told us not to dry this body, let it sink this water into the body. Since then, every places I took bath, even though it was cold, I never wipe it. According to the Vedic system, an animal to be offered as a sacrifice has to be bathed first. And while the animal is wet, it is sacrificed. When the demon was thus preparing to cut off his head, Lord Shiva became very compassionate. This compassion is a symptom of the quality of goodness. Lord Shiva is called Triguna, Trilinga, a mixture of the three material qualities. Therefore, his manifestation of the nature of compassion is a sign of the quality of goodness. This compassion, however, is present in every living entity. The compassion of the Lord Shiva was aroused not because the demon was offering his flesh into the sacrificial fire, but because he was about to commit suicide. This is natural compassion. Even if a common man sees anyone preparing to commit suicide, he will try to save him. I remember one family in Houston that we have to deal with this situation. And I was feeling so blessed that Krishna allowed me to show that couple that still he is living. It's very difficult when a person make those kind of decisions. It's very difficult to change their mind. But what we did is, every evening we told them that simply we will come and chant Hare Krishna, nothing else. No class, nothing. Just absorbs in the holy name. And after 12, 13 days, then I asked that person, would you please live the life the way Krishna put you into that situation? You have not created your life yourself. Krishna has given you your life. So you have no right to take it away. There is a serious, serious offense. You may be thinking that I will become free from this, whatever entanglement Prabhuji was facing. But I say you are creating a serious well of miseries by doing that action. And somehow or other he is so nice. He accepted that he will not do the suicide. Very nice family. His son is very, very nice actually. Once in a while I visit those family and I really enjoy their company. Even if a common man sees someone preparing to commit suicide, he will try to save him. He does so automatically. There is no need to appeal to him. Therefore, when Lord Shiva appeared from the fire to check the demon from suicide, it was not done as a very great favor to me. It's natural. Lord Shiva's touch saved the demon from committing suicide. His bodily injuries immediately healed, and his body became as it was before. Then Lord Shiva told the demon, quote, "My dear Bhukrasur, you do not need to cut off your head. You may ask from me any benedictions you like, and I shall fulfill your desire. I do not know why you wanted to cut off your head to satisfy me. I become satisfied even by an offering of a little water." Unquote. Actually, according to the Vedic process, the Shiva Linga in the temple or in the form of Lord Shiva in the temple is worshipped simply by offering Ganga water. Because it is said that Lord Shiva is greatly satisfied when Ganga water is poured upon his head. Generally, devotees offer Ganges water and the leaves of the Bilwa tree, which are especially meant for offering to Lord Shiva and Goddess Durga. Our Raghav Chaitanya Prabhu is leader in all these things, so he make his ball for the worship of Advaita, and we have to simply follow him. The fruit of this tree is also offered to Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva assured Bhukrasur that he is satisfied by a very simple process of worship. Why then was he so eager to cut off his head? And why was he taking so much pain by cutting his body to pieces and offering in the fire? There was no need of such severe penances. Anyway, out of compassion and sympathy, Lord Shiva prepared to give him any benedictions he liked. I have promised my brother's grandson that I'm gonna teach him how to wash the car with less than half gallon water. And I think we won't need any water because it was raining so good. So we have to take these nice cloths to wipe up and sign it. So I will stop 5 minutes early because I'm leaving from here. So at least I want to show him how to keep the car clean. And he knows my nature, even small pieces of dirt I cannot accept. So I told him I will show you how to wash your car with less than half a gallon water. When the demon was offered this facility by Lord Shiva, he asked for a fearful and abominable benedictions. The demon was very sinful, and sinful persons do not know what sort of benediction should be asked from the deity. You go in front of the Lord. He is the owner of, proprietor of everything. By his sweet will, everything is moving. And to ask something temporary, what intelligence are we using? You serve him nicely, he will give you eternal benefit, not temporary. Therefore, Rukrasuri asked Lord Shiva to bless him with such power that as soon as he would touch anyone's head, it would immediately crack and the man would die. The demons are described in the Bhagavad Gita as duskrutis or miscreants. Kruti means very meritorious. But when duh is added, it means abnormal. Instead of surrendering unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the simple process, the duskrutis worship different demigods to derive abnormal material benefits. Although the duskrutis have brain power and merit, Their merit and brain power are used for abnormal activities. Sometimes, for example, materialistic scientists invent a lethal weapon. The scientific research for such an invention certainly require a very good brain. But instead of inventing something beneficial to the human society, they invent something to accelerate death, which is already assured to every man. They cannot show their meritorious power by inventing something which can save man from death. Instead, they invent weapons which accelerate the process of death. You know, it was so wonderful. Before that, there was no fighting the way they are fighting. The leader must lead the battle himself. And if we just reinstate that principle of war, I guarantee there will be no world war, no war at all. Because all these, what you call, I forgot the name even, this who hold all these posts, what they call, man, my brain is not working well. You know what I meant to say. That if they have to stand in front line, there will be a no war. So if he really wants to live in a peaceful life, you have to study the Vedas and read and convince the people that this is the only way we will be able to live happily. And that task is for the ISKCON devotees. They cannot show their meritorious power by inventing something which can save man from death. Instead, they invent weapons which accelerate the process of death. Similarly, Vrukasur, instead of asking Lord Shiva for something beneficial to human society, asks for something very dangerous to human society. He can go and touch anybody's head and that person is dead. What kind of benedictions? What kind of mentality? So Lord Shiva is powerful enough to give any benedictions. So the demon could have asked something beneficial from him, but for his personal interest, he asks that anyone whose head would be touched by his hand would at once die. So Lord Shiva could understand the motive of the demon, and he was very sorry. What is this? He was very sorry that he had assured him whatever benediction he liked. So he could not withdraw his promise. You know, in the material world, anybody has seen that promise? Nothing. It doesn't mean anything. But he was very sorry in his heart that he was to offer him a benediction so dangerous to human society. So devotees of the personality of Godhead never ask any benedictions from the Lord Vishnu or Krishna. Never. Never ever we should ask anything. Because what we deserve, Krishna will give us without asking. Why we have to open our mouth? He may give you 1,000,000 times better solution than what we can ask for it. Because our mind is very gross. Don't think that we have intelligence. We have all this intelligence is temporary and destructive. Not real intelligence, believe me. So that is the difference between the demons and the devotees, or the worshipper of the Lord Shiva and the worshipper of Lord Vishnu. I think it's 5:23. Let me take a screenshot, and I have to show him how to keep